I was really into it on the GameCube, and I did have the DS Wild World one. Hi HDK underscore V12. Will you ever play Majora's Mask on stream? I can't say that I wouldn't. I guess that could be fun to do one time since I've never tried it at all, like at all. Which is kind of, I think, not to prop myself up here too much, but I don't think there's too many games from that era that I haven't even played at all, especially a big deal one like that. So that could be kind of interesting. I really enjoyed Dishonored, but then again, anything Arcane Studios touches turned to gold, like Might and Magic Dark Messiah. If I remember correctly, Dark Messiah, didn't that do terribly? I don't think I played that one, but... it's like stealth Metroid in a way, you choose your own route and tactics. So like, Assassin's Creed? It's like a sci-fi Assassin's Creed is what I would have said. Dead Space chat me up, still have failed to get back to that game. Yeah, same. Some of these questions, even with the kappa, like, I'm not going to answer that. I like Majora's Mask more than Ocarina of Time. I've heard people say that. I doubt that would happen to me, but I guess I can't say until I played it, right? Have you got any recommendations on good blogs / books on game design? I don't know about books, but I definitely have some blogs. I just don't know what they are off the top of my head. I could look through my bookmarks. I don't really read a ton of blogs, but there are a few that I've definitely noted that were like developer things that had some really pertinent articles in them, or things that I've had cross-referenced through Polygon or something like that. I have Silent Hill 2, but I'm waiting to play it on stream. What's your favorite first-person shooter? It might be Borderlands. I'm trying to think of what other options there even are anymore. Oh wow, it's really, really freaking red outside. It's like, wow, that's pretty. It's the sky's doing one of those fades from like light blue to yellow to pink to peach, and then back to blue again at the top. What do you think of Hotline Miami, and what do you think about the coming sequel? I'm asking because Hotline Miami is one of my favorite games. Yeah, I thought it was good. I like Cactus Squid. I think it's good devs, good work. Denaton Studios, good people. It's extremely violent, as long as you don't mind that. I mean, not everybody should probably play that game, but if you don't care, then yeah, it's gonna be probably a decent sequel. I really enjoyed Dishonored, and normally do sandbox Terraria games, Starbound, Edge of Space, etc., and RPG games. I gotta play Edge of Space. Dark Messiah was good on PC, horrible on console. Ah, that's where I was hearing the difference then. It was the 360 version specifically that I was thinking of when I heard that. PC has 3 to 4 times the content. Alright. Well, that's different. I just did an event on the Surface to get it. Oh. Have you read the book or played the game of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream? No, I haven't. But yeah, I've heard plenty of people say that I should probably check that out. Oh, take a picture of the sky. I wonder if I could. Yeah, that's totally picture worthy. I'm gonna do that. Hang on a second. See if I can get a good angle on it. And then I'll have to tweet it. I got a shot. I'm not sure if it looks quite as nice in the picture as it does in reality, but let's see if I can get a better one. Some of the intensity is kind of going down already. How about this one? Yeah, I think I like the second one maybe a little better. Tweeted. Go collect all these freaking coins again. One second, I'll go check what's going on in the text area. The text area, the chat area. I'd love to see you play through, and how isn't Doom the best FPS? I don't know. For the same reason that I don't like to pick favorite things, mostly. Maybe it is. How far Airport Pooper Simulator in development? All the people that we were having, like, randomly decide to come develop random things we came up with in the NLSS have mostly all stopped talking about those things, so no idea. Who's your favorite big name publisher? Kappa. Have you made Cream of Heroes yet? Kappa. Just Kappa. RLS, any mold dropped yet? Yeah, I got the Crimson one, but it took a few hours. Do you watch much anime? I don't watch really any right now, but I have watched quite a bit. I'm not really current with any series, though. Back from doing a thing, did I miss anything? I got one key mold, that's probably all you missed, and I've fought Plantera a bunch of times for fun. What do you think about the controversy of Hotline Miami 2 naming the developers, had to remove a tutorial and then make actor and slash killed a couple of people and raped someone? I think that game is already sort of fraught with debauchery in the first place. Not that it excuses that, but I don't know. If there was ever going to be a game where extreme behavior went on, I think that one kind of revels in it. So it's a little bit easier to not be as offended when that's kind of all that there is to the substance of the game. It's mostly very offensive. So, I don't know. I'd rather not have rapes and things, but I guess if anyone's going to do it, that would probably make the most sense. Do you live in a forest? Well, I live on the side of a mountain, so kind of. What was your game of the year in 2013? What games do you look forward to most this year? Game of the year of 2013 was probably Gone Home. And what do I look forward to most this year? Go to indiestatic.com and there's a list of like the top 100 upcoming indie games, like most of those. Favorite Pokemon game? Blue, not red. Holding a water candle stacks with a placed one. I didn't know that. That's a good tip. I don't have a second one on me, though. But I could probably go home and get another one. Why don't you start a Frost Legion and Invasion in a certain biome? Those enemies drop mold too. Huh, I didn't think of that. What's on your slot 9 in the hotbar at the moment? That's the Vampire Knives. That's the thing I got from the Crimson Mold. That's this sucker right here. It's a melee long-ranged attack, which also gives me healing from whatever it hits. It's pretty cool. I like this thing. Have you heard much of Space Dandy that's going to air on Toonami today? Oh, yeah, I saw a commercial for it. Actually, it looks pretty cool. Did you ever get into Dwarf Fortress? No, I still haven't played it. I always see these games like Minecraft and Terraria and think they're nice, but lack the emergence that DF has. Will you get the new Smash for the 3DS? Not super likely. I really haven't been spending much money on video games, and that wouldn't really be too high on my priority list. Honestly, I think that Zelda game is probably about the only other 3DS game I'm planning on ever getting. At least right now, until they come up with something more interesting than what they've got going on. I mean, Smash for a while was kind of cool, but it's like I don't really have friends to play that stuff with, and even if I can play it online, Nintendo's very against playing games online, it seems. And it doesn't seem to work very well most of the time. No, but seriously, if you had to pick a big-name publisher, who would you pick? I don't know, Bethesda, I guess? Nobody's owned by anybody, or nobody is the company they were 2 years ago anymore, so it's like, whoever I pick, they're not that same company anymore. I have to be up in 5 hours, fuck. Sorry. Well, I guess you better get going on the jacket, then. You just bring in those thousands of viewers, and we'll get this thing going. Ever played any of the Carmageddon games? Yes. And have you heard about the Carmageddon reincarnation? How do you feel about Kickstarters for such games? Seems legit to me. I really liked Carmageddon, actually. I had the second one on my iMac, like, when I was 13 or something. And I thought it was really fun. It was one of the first games I've ever seen that had, like, deforming physics in it. And I have to say the Mac version of Carmageddon 2, way better than the PC version. I was really shocked at how bad the PC version was when I got it. And this is, like, the only time I'll ever say this about a game. Because in my experience, the Mac version is almost always worse than the PC version. Can you speed things up by doing a pumpkin moon on the jungle surface to get the key mold faster? I don't know. I should go get a candle, though. I could do that. And the second part of that question, how do I feel about Kickstarter for such games? I don't see a reason why that would be a bad thing. I mean, that was at least a game with a pretty proven track record that was kind of fun. It's when people start Kickstarters for things, it's like we don't even have an idea. Or like we have a couple of sketches of an idea, but we haven't really figured it all out, and we don't really know where the money's going to go, but we need a lot of it. And if you could, like, tell everyone, please. Like, no, I don't I don't like that. I get emails sometimes like, somebody told me, this one developer told me that you're the Kickstarter guy. I'm like, no, don't say that. I'm not the Kickstarter guy, and I've only covered about 3 games ever that have been on Kickstarter at all. I actually purposely make a point of not covering Kickstarter games unless I know for a fact that they're really good. Because I don't want that reputation, because I don't want all those emails from people that are never going to go anywhere, that just have a Kickstarter that they don't really have a long-term plan for. But Carmageddon, I don't have really too much of a problem getting behind. Oh, Nick, I almost forgot Doge with Crown. Okay, I like Doge with Crown, that's a good plan. Have you played Starbound? Do you think it's good? Yeah, I played a lot of Starbound, actually. I've probably played about, 12, 10 something hours of it. I have a bunch of episodes of streams that I've put up on my YouTube channel. I've played it with a bunch of friends that I didn't record. Yeah, I think it's good. I just want to wait for it to be more fleshed out and not delete my characters before I commit to recording any of it in sort of sequence or anything. Okay, no more dudes are coming again, so I guess I need to leave, and I'll go get another water candle, and we'll come back and try another time. And we'll figure out what's going on. What are you waiting for? I'm waiting for the key mold to drop. This is about equally as fast to farm it this way than to do it manually, I suppose. Why am I going up here to the teleporter when I can just do this? Also, I need to empty out my inventory again. So let's see, what can I drop off at home? Various dyes. Do I have other dyes? Not really. Oh, there's the violet husk. That's just garbage. It's garbage. Vines are garbage. It's almost been 2 hours since the last commercial I ran. Do you guys mind if I run another one? I'm just going to sort inventory for a few minutes anyway, so I figure it probably wouldn't hurt too much. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'll be back in a minute. Stick around, I guess, a little bit more. I'm not sure how much more I can go on, actually. I'm pretty tired at this point, but let's keep it going. Well, that works fairly nicely, I guess. Using that song seems to actually line up pretty well. That's North Wall again, from the ActRaiser official soundtrack. I enjoy reading all of your stories about the ads. I didn't know there was so much going on. I guess I feel like I need to say this every time, but like, don't worry if you don't get ads or something. It's just regional. Sometimes certain places don't get their ads published because they might not pay for that region or something like that. So if that's the case, no harm done. Just being here at all makes a difference. And of course, if you're feeling especially compelled and if you want to go above and beyond, you can always consider subscribing. And then you get the little Mara chat icon and the, the set of emotes as well. And there's going to be 8 of them now, and very soon probably 10 if we can keep things going forward. So you certainly get a lot of chat emotes, probably more than most would give. But that's just for the people that feel like that's a thing they want to do. And I've almost finished sorting my inventory. I haven't put away all the ore yet. I've been leaving a little bit left. I think I want to leave this as ore instead of turning it into bars, just in case I need to do the same thing again, so I can probably make meteorite areas in multiple spots. Oh, it's this one actually. There we go. Can make chlorophyte bars though, that I have no problem doing. Yep, and then there's the image of all of the emotes. Newest of them being Rock Yaha. And honestly, the biggest thing from subbing, I mean, I don't have a ton of sub perks, unfortunately. I don't really have a way to commit to being able to do like a special sub stream every week. I thought I was going to try and do that, and it didn't really pan out, unfortunately. But, it does directly support me, and it does mean a lot. And I don't just say that lightly, like it really does make a substantial difference to, like, my end finances each month. So if you want to significantly help me out, that's one way to do so. But again, no pressure. And I'm not trying to sales pitch you, really. It's just sort of a thing that is a factor for people who do this. What is your least favorite genre of music? Probably country. Probably the one thing that it seems like I agree the least with the things that are being said in the lyrics half the time, but that's kind of an easy answer too, right? A lot of people would say that. I'm going to throw away pixie dust. I think we're just going to get rid of that. Put a seedling in here. What else can I get rid of? So we'll put the pygmy staff in here as well, because I already had one of those. And then I've got to put these 2 guns into their spot. What about dubstep? I've actually heard a couple of dubstep things that I found sort of interesting. Not that they were my favorite or anything, but, I didn't hate all of it. Oh, my guns area is filled. Crap. Alright, I guess I'm going to have to start sorting out what I'm going to do with all of that. We'll just have an overflow tank for now. So many items. Let's sell this stuff off. Alright, so you wanted me to hold a second candle then. Candle, second candle. Where did I put those? They're over on the right. Alright, inventory is all sorted. And we're already back. There we go. Double candles. Wait, why can't I stack even more than double candles? Why can't I put them all over the room? It doesn't work. Hi, Statistics. I don't know how to say your name properly. Statistics. Yeah, it's still going. Just farming away. Looking for that jungle mold. Country dubstep. There's actually that that website that'll turn any song into a dubstep mix. The Wub Machine, I think it's called. So it's really good for making experimental crap like that. It doesn't always sound good or anything. Yep, key mold farming indeed. But yeah, you should definitely check out that website if you want. Just upload any random song you have on your hard drive and it'll just do stuff to it, and it comes out sort of sounding a little dubsteppy. I actually was doing that with like new age songs for a while, making them dubstep or like hardcore songs. The hardcore songs sound terrible, by the way. You probably shouldn't do that. But new age songs or like things with light lyrics usually work really well. I stayed up extra long yesterday EU time to see if you start a late stream, but then went to sleep at 5 a.m. Just woke up and see the notification from 9 a.m. Yep, basically we're just sitting here letting the game take care of itself. My little head turret is shooting all the enemies, so it's just kind of like walk around every now and then and pick up all the stuff they drop. And that's really it. Do you like black metal? Not so much. The doom, sludge, any of that stuff, it's like less appealing to me. The more airy the riffs are, the less I tend to like it. And this is not just a snap judgment or anything. Like, I've experimented and listened to pretty much every type of metal I could get my hands on, and that stuff usually doesn't stick as much. The one thing that tends to go back and forth for me is a band like Mastodon that's, like, not primarily, well, okay, they're like 50-50 sludge, I guess. And in general, I don't like sludge at all, but them I can kind of put up with it for some reason, because they just have a few really catchy songs. How much longer is the stream? Probably not too much longer. I'm getting pretty sleepy now, and it's 7:30 in the AM for me. So this is Endgame Terraria, something to look forward to whenever I start it up. Yup, this is Endgame Terraria. It doesn't have to be like this, but I'm a completionist, so I'm doing what I can. System of a Down is great, definitely. Terraria just turned into cookie clicker, it seems. First you do it manually, then you get stuff to let the game do it for you. You are very astute with that observation, I agree. Did you ever beat Demon Souls? No, I actually was planning on streaming Demon Souls at one point, though. Maybe that'll be the next thing I work on after we finish Terraria. I don't know if I want to make a Let's Play of it, but I do want to potentially just dick around with you guys playing it. Dubstep Yaha. Well, that's probably not going to be much, because, I don't know, what's it going to do with a dubstep Yaha? It's like 2 seconds long. Alright, the turret doesn't work very well when the bees show up, I guess. Works much better when you're just dealing with these guys. Alright, let's just go back to our candle position. Holy crap, did he just wake up or did he never go to bed? I've been up the whole time. Does anyone know when the next NLSS is? www.whenisnlss.com. It's going to be Monday. It seemed like nobody knew when the next date was. Yeah, it's true. We didn't. We didn't really look at the calendar then, and I also didn't know when Ryan was coming back. And we just perpetually don't know when Josh is around. So, yeah, I guess Monday is going to be the day. I approve of Demon Souls. Scum Panda Gamer never uploads the next part. Yeah, I mean, it would probably just be a stream. Like I said, I don't think I want to commit to recording it, but yeah, it could be fun. I have a character that's like, I don't know, 30% through the game, I guess. Oh, sleepy. I've noticed, and maybe this is just me, but I feel like that the way my face looks in that picture, it sort of looks a little bit like PewDiePie. But it's kind of hilarious at the same time, and the fact that my face is even on Twitch TV is also super hilarious to me. Or like Rock Yawn. Oh yeah, I guess it kind of does look like that, doesn't it? Just say yawn, maybe yawn. Oh. Hello, Lin Mac. What the fuck? I didn't even realize it's your face. Yup. It certainly is. Yeah, you do look kind of like PewDiePie in that picture. There's a certain angle that he tends to put his face at, I believe, and I think I figured out what that angle is, actually. Kind of looks like Theon Greyjoy in that emote. Oh yeah, I totally see it, actually. That's hilarious. I never would have thought of that either. RockLeeSmile. I need a name change. Any suggestions? When I do, my name will subscribe to Nick Rishore. Well, thank you. Yeah, I can see with naming yourself Rectum Nectar why you would want to potentially change your name. No offense. I don't know if I could just randomly suggest a name, but if you had anything in mind, I'm sure we could help you brainstorm. Wait, you don't have millions of subscribers. Nope. Still haven't gotten to 50,000 yet. I say that as if it's not a lot. It is a lot, but I've just slowed down my progress quite a bit. For a while I was sort of projecting that 50,000 was going to happen before the end of the year. And now I'll be lucky if I can get to it by the end of January. So, progress has been slowing, and I'm not really sure why. So I'm just trying to work harder to try and counteract it. But still, I do what I can. I'm still laughing at Oliver, age 24's. No YouTubeatron, it's not PewDippy, it's PewDiePie. Did they all stop spawning again? This is getting boring now. Come on, guys. What are you doing? I stand still for frickin' 5 seconds, and then they just stop showing up. Why does that keep happening? Is that enough to reset them? Ice Cock Raid. I don't know what an Ice Cock Raid is, but thank you. I haven't had one of those happen before. Wow, hello. Would you do a project collab with the Runaway guys, Proton John, Nintendo Capri Sun, and Chugga Conroy? The only one of those three that I have a lot of knowledge of, and not even a lot of knowledge is probably not right to say, but I have some knowledge of, is Proton John, who seems like a very nice guy, and who people have told me that we seem to have a bit in common. As far as the other guys, I would probably want to look into them more, but I can't imagine it wouldn't be fun. They're all established people in what they're doing, and yeah, that would probably be pretty cool. I just don't know if we have enough common ground, because that's honestly what I look for when I'm trying to come up with people to collab with. It's mostly about, like, would we be compatible and would we have some kind of chemistry? Would we be interesting to listen to? Any of that stuff. As much as it's tempting sometimes to be like, would they get me lots of subscribers? That's nice. But I kind of care more about, integrity, if possible, and making stuff that I actually feel good about. So, Yeah, thank you all the Icecock people for coming by. I really appreciate it. And oh, hi Bananasaurus Rex. I guess was that you? Are you behind the Icecock? Nick doesn't give a shit about the raid. I give a shit about raids. This is like the third time, maybe second or third time that's ever even happened, so I do definitely give a shit about it. I'm just not sure how much longer that I'm going to be streaming, but I'm certainly glad that you guys stopped by. We're just doing sort of a pretty chilled question and answer while grinding in Terraria for key molds moment. And at this point, I'm just sort of running back and forth, killing meteorite heads, and not holding my second blue candle, which is what I should be doing to get more dudes to show up. Epic. No, actually, although I have it, it was on my list, and I was planning on getting it, getting a video for it done at some point. And I think it was one of those things where I emailed the developer and they didn't reply to me, but then a viewer just gifted me the game, so I didn't feel especially beholden to the developer to want to make a video on it, but, you know, I probably will at some point. Hooray! Thank you, everybody's here. Is this a meteorite farm to try and get a key mold, get rid of nearby water, if water mobs spawn, and fill up the monster queue? Yeah, I think that is actually what's going on, because they keep disappearing after a while. But that is the goal, yes, is to get the key mold to show up. I got the crimson one so far. I've had, you know, that's my luck tonight. I've had the one happen. Can't really expect to necessarily get two in one night, but I'll take it if it happens. I don't know how many hours we've been at this one. Probably a little over one at this point. It hasn't been that long. But it would be super cool if it happened. Because I want to get all the damn items in this whole game. Today is the day we make our last stand. Yeah, we were joking earlier about having Obama raid the stream. I don't know if he's probably still streaming. I don't think he's passed the torch just yet. But I'm sure I could probably get at least another 25 or 30 viewers if Obama raids me. Hi, Josie. Welcome. Hopefully you've sorted out what was going on yesterday that you were talking about in this stream. Hey Rex, do you ever think back to your eggplant run just to make yourself smile? You don't even have to think back to it. The shit's recorded, man. You just go watch it. You smile all day. I think everybody's got some kind of like a special gaming moment, right? I think that's kind of like, I mean, especially if you do YouTube stuff or Twitch stuff. But I don't really know what mine would be. I mean, maybe like making The Passenger, making my my best Super Meat Boy chapter. That could kind of be a moment for me, I suppose. And, you know, being able to beat it also should count. There you go, take that out of context. Being able to beat it. Man, I just realized how much I miss Terraria. I can't tell if you're capping there. I mean, you didn't actually intentionally kappa, but something about the way you suggested that concept and the fact that I'm basically standing in one place while an automated turret fires at automated enemies makes me think that there's a kappa. It's just like an invisible silent one. The eggplants will save us. I can just see Rex watching the eggplant run and going, yup, I'm really good. What's with the gold hearts? After you get to hard mode, when you go to the jungle, you can actually find these heart fruits, which will give you, I think it's like 5 more health per heart. So they all add up to be, yeah, that would be 10 then, and then another 10 makes 100, so it would be 500 total. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, by the way, Nick stole the eggplant emote, which is why I don't have one, and you should all give him shit for it. Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I put that emote in before anyone was, as far as I know, really bothering to try and get eggplant runs going. So it just ended up being sort of a coincidence. I don't know why I even wanted to do it. I just thought it was kind of funny that eggplant and Spelunky was like a thing that was even in the game, and then we just talked about it a lot, so I think that's really all it was. I didn't know that people were even going to try to make that a thing. But, you know, given the ingenuity of people on the internet, I suppose that's how it goes. Does a placed blue candle actually have any effect? I believe they're supposed to stack, at least that's what chat's been telling me. The one I'm holding and the one that's sitting there together should work for a greater good. And I think the spawn queue's filled up again, so I'm going to go down here again. And watch out for an angry turtle. Do you think those very difficult games which came out lately are good to video gaming in general? Games seem to get very, very easy to finish. There seems to be a bit of a polar split lately about how people perceive difficulty in video games. I personally think that it's nice that there's some difficult ones, and I think it's kind of nice to harken back to some of the, you know, the retro difficulties that we used to be used to, only they're not just dickish anymore, at least some of the time, or well, hopefully most of the time. Because if you remember back in the day, a lot of the problems that those games suffered from were due to the fact that, like, we didn't have the necessary hardware or the sophistication in the console to be able to handle stuff like, you know, saving all the time, which is kind of a big deal. And if you think now to games like Volgar the Viking, they have a lot of the modern tropes that we're used to in games that make things a little bit more accessible, but they're also wrapped up in very difficult hardcore aesthetics at times, or themes. And Volgar, I think, is a great example because it really does hit both sides of that. Like, it's really hard, but it's also really fair. And I think that's the thing that we need to strive more for, is coming up with that balance. Not so much just trying to be dickish and trying to be difficult for the sake of being difficult, although I'm sure there's still going to be a market for that no matter what. I mean, look at your, I want to be the guy, I want to be the Bashi, I want to be whatever the hell's. Massacre games in general all kind of have that flavor to them, right? So, since that's a thing, I don't think that's going anywhere. And I also don't think accessible, super easy casual games are going anywhere either. I think they've just split the market a lot more. So I like the fact that there's a diverse grouping of games and that there's a little bit of something for everyone. I'd prefer that the balance maybe shift a little bit more toward games like Volgar or Super Meat Boy or Dark Souls, but I also grant that it probably shouldn't be all of them. And it probably shouldn't even be half of them. It should be like a nice quarter or something like that. I don't know. I'm not in charge of the percentage distribution of what games should be how difficult, but that's just sort of my 2 cents on the topic. Huge difficulty in older games was also just a way of padding them out and making them longer lasting back when games were released less often. That's also a good point, yeah. I was actually just talking on Skype with Rob, I think it was yesterday, the day before, about the way that the whole industry has sort of changed the conception or the perception of how games being finished has happened, or this is the most inelegant way to put all of this concept, but the fact that now there is no release date for games anymore. It's just games are released whenever the fuck. Like, there's no line between a finished and an unfinished game, really. You could look at it in both directions, actually. You could say that a game is as finished as it is the second you can play it, or you could look at it the other way around and say, well, no matter how finished a game is, you could always add or polish more about it. But now that we've got DLC and endless patches and games that are released that simply don't work, like, all of that shit, there's just no line. Like, it used to be when you want to deliver a game to the public, there's a day when it goes to press, right? And there's they used to say that the game goes gold. I guess they still say that sometimes. And that's kind of when you stop production on it, in a way. I mean, it's not, because now we've got patches and DLC and shit, but, like, when SNES games were the way it was, you usually don't really get another shot, or if you do, it's going to be months, and it's going to require more printing or more, you know, distribution of that game, and it's probably going to cost a ton of money. The infrastructure didn't exist then, and I just think it's really interesting how we've all come to kind of accept that we're just not going to get finished games anymore, and especially when I was reading this article on Polygon earlier today about how Battlefield was released, Battlefield 4, was released, like, completely broken, and people are just so apathetic about it because they're just used to EA releasing broken games. And, like, why are we okay with that stuff? Like, this is still $60, and they're also charging people for premium, and I think it's like $40 more for whatever perks you get out of Premium Battlefield 4, and then they have, you know, DLC and expansion packs and shit, although they said they've stopped those to continue to work on fixing the broken game that they released. I don't really get why that's acceptable, or why they should make it sort of an afterthought to cater to the public, like, oh, fine, like, we'll make the game that you paid $60 for playable just because you're really annoying the shit out of us, right? Like, why is that acceptable? Like, I understand that you're a really big company, and in the end, like, you probably don't care very much about any individual person's opinion of your shit, but you should, because long-term, goodwill only goes so far. I mean, look at Nintendo. I mean, not that I'm going to go off on that rant right now, but I've certainly spent a few hours discussing the merits of, you know, how little I kind of feel for Nintendo at the stage that they are in their, what I feel to be their decline. Also, I think somebody subscribed, and I think in the middle of my ranting I might have missed it, and I apologize if that was the case. I'm going back up to try and find it. Who did I miss? Spam me in chat, please, so I see. I see the stupid arrow, and then it just gets long. Oh, Dr. Docket just subscribed. Thank you very much, Dr. Docket, for your subscription. I greatly appreciate it. And welcome to the Rock Quarry. You now have your Mar icon badge next to your name, and you have an access to a variety of chat icons, including the Rock Yaha, which is the silliest face known to man, I think. It's my face, which is a pretty silly face. I should probably go look at what's going on in chat. Oh, not a whole lot, apparently, actually. Arliss, the water candles don't stack, so it's like holding one if you have two, and a battle potion would also increase spawn rate. Well, I've been on both sides of this argument this evening already. I've had somebody tell me that they do and that they don't, so I've been trusting the person that said that they do, because I guess it didn't really hurt me to hold another one. As far as battle potions, I was already using those and ran out, unfortunately. What is this over here? What is this blue pulsating thing in the wall? Oh, it's a star. Okay. I don't know, for some reason I couldn't really understand what I was looking at there. What is the Mar? Mar is my little mascot. He's like a fungus, basically. He's been my mascot for the Indie Impression series since I started it, really. So he's been around for a while, and he's just like a little guy. And it's kind of cute. So, I think I fell asleep in your... Excuse me, still streaming. Yes. Hi, Pixel Pirate. Long time no see, indeed. Snack styles equal rock, PewDiePie, no space. Did somebody just say mold? Huh? Where? What? Are you trying to mess with me? Mold? What episode was he in? What, Mar? Mar's just at the beginning of every episode. If that's what you mean. What's going on in chat? I'm so confused. Somebody said mold and I got really worked up, and then I didn't see anything, and now I think I've been had. I've been had! Why have I been had? Should have known better. Let's just flatten this out. Alright, let's put some mud over top of that. Very nice. Can anybody, like, check the wiki and just see about if the holding the water candle stacks with the one that I have down? I don't know. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter all that much. I'm just kind of curious. I can reset the spawners again. Go hang out over here for a minute. There's another life fruit. These are actually surprisingly expensive to sell, so I think it's kind of to my benefit to try and gather these up. Oh, some more chlorophyte. Okay. Sorry, I'm not talking all that much. I'm just sort of going into a daze, I think, from doing this for so long now. It's the unfortunate side effects of grinding. It grinds down your brain a little bit, too. But feel free to propose any other questions or talking points that you'd like me to talk about. Oh, see, now there's a whole bunch of guys here. Where were they all before? I guess I really did need to clear out the spawners. If I could just get one more, I would call it a night if we get one more key mold, but the odds, again, are super small. It's like 1 in 4,000. I should add a little thing on the front of the stream that's like, currently grinding, and then say what it is and what the odds are. That way people come in and they're like, oh, I know right where we're at with this. I've done this. I've had a bunch of people suggest, too, that I just, like, take their jungle key mold, because apparently some people have multiple. I just don't want to do that. I'm too obstinate. I want to get it for myself. He leaves a piece of ore every time, my OCD. You know why I do that, right? It's because they regrow. I'm not doing it to make anyone have a hard time. I also have a little bit of it myself at times. I guess if you think about it, after every kill your odds increase a small amount. Yeah, you can kind of look at that in both directions, right? I mean, there's that thing that says every time you flip a coin, it's like 50-50 again. But also the chances of you having a consecutive flip of heads 50,000 times in a row, each time you flip it, it should go down, right? I don't know, I'm no good with statistics, but that seems to me like that's the way that should go. And I know statistics have nothing to do with what seems to be. They just are. I'm going to repeat this until Nick sees, since he's asked multiple times. Multiple placed candles do not stack, but the bonuses from holding and placing a candle do. Okay. Well, somebody just told me before that that wasn't the case, so I guess I'll believe you now. It's not really sure how to tell. It's from the wiki, so I guess that kind of takes precedence then. Can't really fight that. Because the wiki's apparently infallible all of a sudden. That's not really how wikis work at all. Wiki, wiki, wild. Wiki, wild. At what point do you start to get surprised that it hasn't dropped yet? Because, I mean, yeah, it's been all of this time, but, you know, I've also spent, like, hours in the jungle just doing stuff. And I haven't found one. Even one yet. It's true, Nick. BizSnap said it. I guess I'll believe you now. Oh, you're going to bed? Alright, good night, Mega Sparks. Thank you for coming by and spending time with us. I need to close my blinds because the freaking sun is directly in my eye right now. Hate that. I don't know what that is, but like the sun will find a way, no matter what, to come through the curtains, like when you're sleeping, and just invade like a drill into your face. No matter what part of the bed you're on, that's the part that the sunbeam will be shining into. might want to kill a fish in those waters. Yeah, I've been doing that on occasion. I know that they are taking up spawn points. That's why I still have my mushroom spear. Icecock raid. Oh. Wait, didn't that happen already? Yeah, a little late on that one, but good try though. So, what other things do I need to grind still? There's the hollowed one, and then there's the corruption one, and then there's... Isn't there another one also? I thought I remember there being 5 in total, but I can't remember what the last one is. Is it just like a dungeon chest or something? I love killing turtles with the frickin' magnet sphere. It feels so good. Turtles think they're so frickin' tough. Oh, the frost one, right. Okay, so I've got to still do 3. Well, after this one's done. Still 4 right now. And then there's a few more bosses I need to grind, like I still haven't gotten a couple drops from Plantera. And of course, if the bulbs show up, I've just been hitting them. Because, like, it's not even a big deal anymore to just beat up Plantera. It's just like, oh, it's there? Alright. It's just like a kind of a bigger mob. Oh yeah, what emblem do I have on right now? Okay, good. It's the magic. It's like if I left the ranger emblem on for the last 2 hours while I've been farming this, I'm gonna feel really silly. But I guess I won't feel that silly, because I'm not sure I've really died at all either. Nick, did you watch TMNT? Yeah, kinda. Wasn't my favorite show or anything. I was more into Ghostbusters, I guess, if I had to pick. These guys don't even freaking drop any souls, too, which sucks, because if I was farming this in hell or something, I would at least be getting all the souls of light on top of it. Should be like jungle souls or some stupid thing. Golem is old news after the first fight. Yeah, he wasn't even that hard the first time I fought him, really. I don't think I've ever died to him, either. Or if I have, it was, like, really dumb. I don't think I have. Nick, when can I sleep? You can sleep anytime you want. Don't feel obligated. Go to bed if you're tired. You're not really missing out on a whole lot. We're just kind of dancing around, shooting stuff with magnet spheres. Just waiting for a sign. Sign that I'm going to get the key mold, and then we can stop doing this. It's about as grindy gets. Although, actually, you know what? I prefer this kind of grinding to the kind of grinding that happens in a lot of JRPGs where you have to keep going into a battle sequence over and over again and hearing the same part of the same track of music 1,000 times. And I say 1,000 times, it's more than 1,000 times. Usually people say that to be hyperbolic. No, it's like many more than that. So the fact that we don't have to do that is kind of a blessing. What is that thing on your head that shoots? It's the plumb bob from The Sims. I stole it and I brought it in here. EA doesn't allow it, but I did it anyway because I'm a rebel. It's actually the set bonus from the chlorophyte armor that I'm wearing. I have the Spectre stuff in my social slot so I can switch back and forth if I need. The point of this was to be that I could stand on this little platform here, hold a blue candle, and then if I just stand here it should give me a highly increased chances of these meteorite heads showing up because I planted all of these meteorite chunks in the ground there. And then you can just kind of automatically let it just shoot stuff for you. And I was able to just kind of look at chat. But I got bored of doing that, so I just wanted to shoot stuff some more. Oh, Kurgan left? Oh, you and Nick have a good day, 6 a.m. here, get some sleep. Okay. Well, good night to you. Thank you for stopping by. I'm new and never even played this game, but I feel obligated to stay and watch. Well, thank you, Dyrot. Don't feel obligated, but I do appreciate that you're here. And trust me, the majority of the game isn't anything like this. It's not a very grindy game, aside from the end. For the most part, you just kind of look around for ores and stuff, and, you know, build better tools and move on. This is just like the last few things you have to do to get out all the stuff. Sort of like, this reminded me of Final Fantasy XII when you want to collect all the espers and how you have to go on that insane boss quest where you essentially have to fight this one dude for like hours with gambits too. Like, you don't even have to necessarily fight him personally. You can like set up the computer to fight itself, which is sort of a strange way to see RPGs coming out. But I really like Final Fantasy XII. I think that was probably my favorite Final Fantasy. I think I played it for the most hours out of any of them. I know it's not exactly the most popular opinion. I think a lot of people really preferred 7 and 8, and some of them are 3 and 6, depending on if it's Japanese or American version. Not that those were bad, I kind of like 12 the best. Esper, E-S-P-E-R, I think? I kind of forget how it's spelled, but it's something like that. Stab this fish through here. I'd be really sad if the key mold dropped in some kind of water area and I just didn't notice. Also, is the PC port of Final Fantasy VII good? I don't really know. I was actually just watching my friend Dreamless One play that on Twitch before I started my own stream, and she, I don't know, we weren't really talking about the comparisons between the two. I did see on Steam, though, somebody had mentioned some of the differences, and I think they have obviously, you know, upped the resolution of things, made some of the UI look a little bit sharper and such, so, I mean, as long as the thing runs, if it's got that going for it, I guess it can't really be worse, right? I'm sure they must have done something with the FMV sequences. I've never said FMZ sequences before, that's a first. But if they've done something with those, I think that would probably be a big help too, because I can't imagine what resolution those were probably recorded at to not take up too much space on the 3 discs that a PS1 game required. Nick, could you show us your world map? Yes. This is my world map. I've explored several places on it, but there are still more places I have not explored. My house is right here. And then I've got, of course, a elevator that takes me all the way down. I actually built a teleporter that goes through the whole thing, and I also have a teleporter that goes from my house to the jungle. But I have not made one that goes from my house to the dungeon, which is all the way on the left side of the world. That one, I don't know, I had enough laying down wires for the rest of my life from going to the jungle, I think. Well, they finally added a map, been too long since I played. Yeah, they also have a mini-map that you can put in the corner, sort of World of Warcraft style. I think it's very intrusive, though, so I don't really use it very much. And you can zoom in and out, which is kind of cool. Although, when it's zoomed all the way out, like, I don't even know how you're going to see your dude very well. Okay, you can kind of barely see the face there. Then there's also this overlay map, sort of Diablo style or Torchlight style, which I think works pretty nicely if you're into that kind of thing. I think it's also kind of fairly obtrusive. Could probably use to come down in opacity, probably like, I don't know, 10, 20 more %, I can't really tell. but it doesn't look right to me from this level of opacity. Also, there's just like no marker to show you exactly where you are on that map, right? Doesn't seem to be. Yeah, there's sort of like a loose correlation based on roughly where your character is. I would have put it like a blinking red dot or something, because it's not exact. Anyway, that's the map system in Terraria now. It's cool. I'm glad they added it, it's just I think it could probably still use some tweaking. Seems like the type of thing that if there were a lot of mods, that somebody would have fixed that in about 5 seconds. Or at least added more options. Can I make a free complaint? I just noticed Battlefield 4 erased my single-player progress. That's what I was kind of talking about before, when the game was apparently not very finished. I read this there was a Polygon article, which is why I brought it up in the first place, and I was just totally shocked by the freaking comments at the bottom of it, that there were actually people defending it, saying like, well, I didn't have any problems, so clearly you're all just, you know, knee-jerk reactioning, you know, out the ass. And no, not necessarily. Just because you didn't have a problem with it doesn't mean that everyone's out of their minds. It might just mean that you didn't have a problem with it. You know, if there's a 99% failure rate, that 1% would still have a fine time. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's acceptable, and especially when it's such a huge freaking company with all the budget that they have and all of the resources at their disposal, for that to be the way that things turn out, and then to also kind of casually brush off people's concerns and complaints about the game, seems pretty messed up to me. And it's been months since it came out. When did it come out? In like September, or was it August? I can't remember which month. October even? I don't know, it was something like that. But it's been at least 2 or 3 months since it came out. And if people are still having serious game-breaking issues, then I don't know what the hell they're doing. And then it just makes you look at SimCity and go, well, alright, so you just don't care then, huh? Like, I know mistakes are one thing, but like, you shouldn't train the public to expect your games to be a goddamn train wreck every single time. And it's not like I'm really, like, a big hero for coming out against EA. I mean, they're, like, one of the least, if not the least popular company in all of the USA, so it's not like I'm the only one that feels this way. It's just, I don't understand how they just haven't gotten their shit together by this point. I mean, if you're a shitty company or not, you still want to be in business, right? That's kind of the way this is supposed to work. And it's just strange if they've created some sort of an equilibrium where it doesn't matter if they're good or not, like, or if they address problems or not, that they still just get to continue to do shit because, I don't know why, like, people are just indoctrinated to believe that that's fine. I hate apathy, and I wish that that kind of stuff would get cut out soon. There's a lot of issues still in the industry, and I don't know that that's even necessarily among the top few of them, but it's one that certainly makes me pretty pissed off sometimes. The idea of paying all that money and not even having recourse necessarily if something doesn't actually work properly. I know at least with Origin, they're supposed to have a policy that allows you to get a refund on a game in something like 24 hours. A problem like the Battlefield thing, though, could be a little bit insidious, though, in that it might not manifest in 24 hours or whatever the time period is that lets you know you need that refund. And if that's the case, then, well, you're just shit out of luck, I guess. And it's not like I'm saying, well, okay, they should make their policy be that you have a week, because obviously people are just going to exploit that, and people are already telling me, like, oh, you shouldn't bother buying your game, you should just buy it and then get your refund and beat it in 24 hours. Like, okay, well, fine, but that's not the point of why they did that. And people are going to do that, and they should be able to probably even tell, just looking at the statistics and information through Origin, that people are just buying games to beat them and then not have to pay for them. And then I'm sure they would probably just ban you or something. That's one of the things that I've always been worried about with Steam. Like, I know that, what was it, EA or I don't remember which company it was. Somebody was having issues where if you like posted something shitty on the forums and got banned from the forums, that you'd be banned from all your games. It was either Origin or Ubisoft's Uplay thing. And that's real shitty. Like, that has nothing to do with anything. There's no reason you should lose the games you paid for because you made a comment that was unsavory on their forums, especially when you're not necessarily the one moderating the comment. That's a little bit too strict. 24 hours to send in a claim takes 25 hours to download. Yeah, that's also a factor. The goddamn games that take over a day to download is also a thing. I understand you've got really high-resolution textures, but my internet doesn't quite keep up, unfortunately. I don't have fiber optic. It'll work, it'll take a while, though. You just gotta, like, compensate for that. That was EA on the Battlefield Bad Company 2 forums. Alright, so I had a feeling it was probably them. That was so scummy. And then there was something similar happened on Steam, too, I thought, where someone got their whole Steam library deleted for some reason that was, like, not their fault at all. Unfortunately, I'm feeling a little bit too tired to recall the exact details, but hopefully someone out there knows what I'm talking about. I think they thought he was doing some kind of, like, reselling items he shouldn't have been selling, and then they just took away all his shit. I think they might have given it back after a while, but I think it was only because press came to light that it was shitty what they were doing. Have you had any problems with the new content ID thing? I've been pretty worried channels will just disappear one day. I had about 6 or 7 content ID claims. All but one of them were fraudulent, so basically all just scumbags trying to take credit for shit they had no claim over. I've disputed all of them, and most, well, I shouldn't say most, about half of them released their claim, giving me back monetization rights. The other half are just going to wait it out because they get to keep whatever revenue I get on the videos that they claimed fraudulently. So they get 30 days of a free ride, and then their claim gets auto-released after the 30 days if they don't make any comment. But the people that are doing this should absolutely have their channels terminated and should be blacklisted from YouTube because they're basically just committing fraud. They're just stealing people's money outright. And the system is so broken that it allows it to happen. So it's total bullshit. And I'll live because they're probably making like $1 off of me because the videos that are fraudulently claimed are all not being watched at this point. But it's still, the principle of it is horrible. And something needs to be done about it. It's really bad. The real problem, though, and the problem that I've been more worried about than even that, because I think the majority of my content ID issues are kind of behind me already. The real problem is it's beginning January, and it hasn't happened yet, but I think it's because YouTube's still on vacation, is that the instant monetization of being on a partner network is now going to end. So I'm going to have to potentially wait through a review period to monetize my videos, which could take up to 2 days, or, I don't know, possibly longer. So that means if I'm trying to make a serialized video content deal, like if I'm trying to do a Let's Play, like with Terraria, and I have episodes 62, 63, and 64 all done and uploading at the same time, because, you know, maybe I was efficient that day and I got a lot of recording done, 62 gets approved, 63 doesn't, and 64 does. Now all of a sudden I'm in a position where, well, today's the day I post 62, tomorrow I'm supposed to post 63, it's not approved yet. I can try to delete it and re-upload it, but if it doesn't go through the second time, I have to wait 2 days. So that means the entire series is now on hiatus for however long it wants to take to approve. And then there's always the chance that it simply won't approve because there's any rhyme or reason to the things that YouTube does. And essentially they could just decide that they found content they weren't happy with because essentially there's just employees that are doing this. There's just people that sit in a cubicle, I suppose, just looking over all of these claims or all of these proposed videos to be monetized and deciding based on what they understand is the rules whether or not they have a right to monetize them. And could vary based on what employee is there at the time that they're reviewing your videos. One day they might say no gameplay content and just say no. Another day they might actually know what the rules are and say, well, maybe I should look into this more before I make a broad sweeping generalization. So it's really dangerous for people who try to make their living doing this now, because you're sort of at the whims of anyone that works at Google. You know, you're at the whim of the least common denominator of whoever is working there that day, if they get in front of your claim. So, I don't know. I'm kind of worried about that, and I hope it doesn't end up being a thing. Well, it's going to be a thing. I just don't know at what point it's going to be a thing, and I don't know to what degree it's going to affect me. They've also said that they're trying to make revisions to how that system works, in that after you've gotten approved a certain amount of times, you'll get reviewed less and less. If that's the case, well, how about they take seniority into account, and the fact that I've had, like, roughly 2 years of everyday uploads with no copyright strikes ever. You think that should factor into things probably, but I don't think it probably does, because they just don't care. They really don't want to look out for, you know, the little guys or people who are trying to come up in YouTube's world. They really just want to protect the people that are already there and already established, because it's way easier for them. And I guess as a business, well, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So I'm sure it's not personal, it's just real shitty. So that's where we're at with that situation. And so I've just been trying to record nonstop so I can get ahead of that. The more things I can get approved ahead, the less I necessarily are, or that I am at their mercy. Pardon my syntax now, it's getting a little goofy. But yeah, that's really about all I have to say on that topic. I think that's really all that there is to say anyway. There's all kinds of people that are just claiming stuff that, you know, the sky is falling, it's the end of YouTube, gaming content will no longer exist. That's just not true. There will be gaming content whether or not people are even getting paid for it, so that's kind of unreasonable to say. I just feel for the channels that structured themselves around shit like Pokemon, and all of a sudden it comes to be that Nintendo is completely intolerant of any and all footage of Pokemon. Even including trailers and commercials, even if you're an actual well-established YouTuber who is using it as a promotional tool during the point that they're talking about your new game. It's really dumb. I don't understand why they're doing this, but they seem to really not understand the give and the take that goes on with this sort of thing. But we can't make them change their minds. They're going to do what they're going to do. And I just hope that they come to their senses eventually. Nick, I just joined. What are you farming? I am looking for a jungle key mold, and have been for quite some time now. Something like a 1 in 4,000 chance of it dropping, and I've been at this for 3.5, 4 hours, something like that. I don't know. I'm just guessing how many hours it's been at this point. Yeah, there were plenty of people that got hit really hard with Content ID matches, and people don't seem to realize there's a huge difference between Content ID matches and strikes. A match is basically just someone claiming your revenue most of the time. They can also decide to take it down if they want, but they're not usually going to cause any trouble for your account. I mean, it's possible that they could if you do something really egregious, but usually they don't. It's almost always just X person said you have music that's claimed under CD Baby's directories that are put in through our Content ID index, and then they're just going to take your revenue for that entire thing, instead of just a percentage or a proportionate amount to how much of that song is in the video. Because even if you have a 2-hour-long documentary, if you have a 3-second clip of a song that's listed somewhere in the Content ID index system, they get to take the revenue for the entire video. So you would think it would just be, well, oh, well, you only use 3 seconds of it, well, why don't we take 3% of your video then? No, it doesn't quite work that way, even if that did make sense the way that the math just worked out, which it didn't, but it's really strange. Yeah, but there's people that have gotten hit really hard, that have gotten hundreds of claims, and I was very lucky in that I only got, you know, about 7 or 6 or something. And it's also because I was aware of this potentially being an issue in the first place when I started doing YouTube, and I tried to stay away from things that look particularly dangerous. And also the fact that the main content matter that I care about, being indie games, sort of lends itself to they want the promotion, and I want to give it to them. So there's a give and a take there, and they're individual people that you can even talk to, if you can imagine that. It's so strange in this industry where there's so many just faceless corporations that make the games we play, when there's also so many people struggling to just make a good game that are they're just one guy most of the time. And they want the coverage, and I want to give it to them, so why is that a bad thing? You know, they're certainly not going to try and present roadblocks for me, and I don't want to present any for them. So that's the kind of symbiotic relationship that you would hope that the big publishers would want as well, but not always. Anyway, I was fairly lucky to have had this all work out the way it did, and not be one of the channels that has, you know, tons of shit to deal with, because each person that had given me a claim, I've had to research and get proper permission then to submit. And the funny thing is, when you submit a dispute for a claim, because you get two things to do with this. You can dispute the claim, and then if they reject your dispute, you can appeal the dispute. And then if you appeal it and it's rejected again, then you get a copyright strike, and if you get 3 of those, then you're out. Like, they cancel your account and shit. It's real bad. But the first one, the funny thing about it is when you appeal the claim, it actually gets sent back to the person who made the claim. So as soon as they claim your content, they're the complete arbiter of your fate. Up until the point when you appeal the dispute if you get rejected. So on the second try, it goes in front of someone who is not the person who's put the dispute in front of you. But most people don't know how this process works. So they're usually afraid, and they usually don't want to bother anyone because they're afraid they'll just get their account banned. So it's usually much easier to just let it go and lose the revenue for that one video, or those 2 videos, or those 6 videos, or whatever it is that they got claimed, even if the person is doing it fraudulently, because most of the time people just can't do that research, or they don't want to, or they're, you know, either too lazy, they don't know where to begin, the whole thing is too confusing. So these people prey on that, and they look for that kind of behavior, and they just do it basically en masse, to just play the numbers, essentially, to get ahead. And they could be making thousands of dollars basically just stealing other people's revenue, which is the worst. It's basically the scummiest shit ever. So, that's kind of, I think, all there is to really say about the entire situation. Why people get so hot about it. And it's really unfortunate that networks haven't really tried to help us at all. That's like the main reason we give them huge amounts of our revenue. So they could get us through shit like this, but they all decided to be greedy and just keep the revenue and not help us. They also don't have the leverage or the bargaining power with YouTube, because YouTube's mad at them. But they could have just released us from our contracts and taken the revenue hit themselves. Of course they didn't. So most of us and most of the people in my friend circle are all kind of stuck in our contracts right now. It's real dumb. Something drop in here? No. I had some mud. There it is. I would laugh really hard if I just had the key mold in my inventory and I didn't even notice. My favorite was that NerdCubed got a content ID match for his own logo on a black background. Like, that's the stupidest shit of all time. Because basically anyone can just put shit into the content ID system. It's just a database, and you just designate a video in it, and it takes the video and it takes the audio and it indexes it, and then it cross-checks it against every single video that it cross-checks against. The idea being, if it matches something, it just does it automatically, and then those options are given to the content holder of what they want to do next. Do you want to take the revenue? Do you want to take this video down? Or do you just want to track it? Because that's also an option. Sometimes musicians will put up a video and they'll just like see what people do with their content. which is kind of reasonable and kind of a cool thing, actually. But most people just take the revenue off of them. How would it work if I made vlog videos showing that I buy a CD in a store, go home and play a song on a CD while I'm recording it? Then you'd get a match potentially for the CD's song by whoever the publisher of that song is. So like, you know, Warner Music Group, Sony, BMG, somebody like that would probably come out and put a claim on that song, and then they would either tell you to take it down or they would take the revenue off of that video, even if you just used it for a few seconds. YouTube will fix it in a while. Oh, I wish. I wish it was quite that simple. I love how that developer got content ID'd for his own game. Yeah, that was pretty bizarre as well. As a musician who's considering giving my music for free on SoundCloud or something similar, all this stuff makes me really wary of not putting it on YouTube as well. If anything, you should be the one to put it in the content ID system so someone else can't. And then just make sure, since you're the actual rights holder, that you just specify to not do anything if people use it. And then you should be pretty well protected. I think beyond that, unless they're just going to take your music and make remixes and then also put it in the content ID system, you'd be the first one to do it, so I think you'd still be safe. But one of the things that actually happened to me, one of the matches I got, was from another YouTuber who had done a video of a game I covered on Indie Impressions a year ago called Give Up Robots, or Give Up Robot, which is actually a game that is published by Adult Swim Games. From Matt. Matt makes games. I can't remember his last name actually right now, but basically they got the publishing rights for it. And this other YouTuber just decided he was going to put some of his Let's Play videos into the Content ID system, so because he did that, he got to match my video that I had written permission for and take my revenue from it. And since he's a dickbag, he decided to just not reply to my dispute of that claim, and he's going to ride out the 30 days and get any revenue from it for a whole month, even though he's just another Let's Player, and there's absolutely no reason why he has any claim over that content whatsoever. So that's kind of the state we're at with that, and why it's so frustrating. And it's horrible that this is like a viable option for people to make a bunch of money right now because they just don't care and the system is broken. But I've fought every single dispute or every match I've gotten, and I intend to win all of them, except for one that was a legitimate music issue that I actually didn't realize. Because sometimes indie developers also don't secure the rights to their own music. Oh, there's the key mold. Finally got it. But anyway, some of the developers don't even get their own rights in order when they make games, and you might end up with a situation where a video you made, the developer realizes, oh crap, actually you don't have a right to use that content. So that happened, and I have one of those, so I'll probably just have to take that video down. It was the ending video for that, oh, what the hell was the name of it now? It was like one word. The Light? I think it was The Light. Yeah, we got it! Yay! To be honest, how is it possible to monetize LPs without being content ID'd by the game publishers? Because the game publishers should want you to be promoting your game, or their game, for free. They don't usually want to go after people because you're giving them free publicity and you're causing people to buy their games and raising awareness about it at no expense to them. This is normally a thing they would pay for, but they don't have to. So they shouldn't be upset at you, and they should encourage you to get your money for doing what you're doing if they understand how this give and take works, which many of the indie developers that I've ever dealt with do. So I think we'll stop being on that rant now. So I hope that was at least somewhat informative for you guys. I don't know if this is necessarily the thing that you wanted to hear in a kind of happy Terraria grinding session, but still. Night Rex, thank you for sending people here, I appreciate it. Upgrade your house. I'm not doing that right now. I am going to clean out my inventory though. And I think I'm going to run an ad, and I'm going to clean out my inventory, and when I come back I'm going to build this key, and then we'll go open a jungle chest. If I can find one. I think I know where there's one. And I think that's probably going to be it for tonight, because I've been at this for like 6-7 hours now. It's almost 5.5 actually. I don't know. It's less than I thought. But I'm going to run ads. Stick around. Another probably 15-20 minutes worth of sorting things and getting whatever's in this chest. I think it's something to do with brambles, but we're going to find out. So, thank you again for everybody that's here. And I really appreciate that you stopped by, so I'll see you in about 3 minutes. Hello, we are back again, and I was just talking into my muted mic for a second there, so sorry about that. Looks like we've got pretty much everything we need to go ahead and go forward things. Soul of Sight, Soul of Might, Soul of Fright, Jungle Key Mold, and a key itself, all of which are in my inventory, so Bam, jungle key get. Now it's just time to go find a chest and open her up. And I think I know where the chest is, so we're going to head out of our server. First we're going to drop off our money, actually. And then we're going to head out to the new material server, because that's where all of the chests seem to be all located. Alright, so map. Yeah, we just gotta go left. It's very dark over here. Let's put our torches back. Seems like it's always been raining in my normal world. For the last few times I've gone back to my house, it's just been raining constantly. Chat wants you to do corruption next. Alright, well that's what I'll probably do for the next stream then. But I think I should probably try and get a little bit of sleep pretty soon. We're just going to go open this chest right now though. And see what we can get out of it and maybe play with whatever it is for a moment. Is there a good way to farm corruption? It seems like the enemies there don't show up quite as often as they do in the Blood Crimson area. Oh, we're already there. Just gotta go over top of it. And we're in. Looks that way. Birdie snipe. Just gotta find the chest. I think it's over on the left. Oh yeah, it's right here. That was easy. Chest opened, and we got the annoying piranha gun. Wow. It's got like the worst possible stats on it too. And the rest of the stuff in this chest is garbage, so I guess we'll just take it with us. Because you can't take it with you, but you actually can. Alright, so that thing certainly sucks. Oh, it just shoots one piranha out and just, like, bounces? I don't get it. Oh, I hold down the button, and then it goes further. Oh, okay, so I want to, like, shoot it and then hold, and then it should, if it hits anything, it should, like, latch onto them and eat away at their health or something? Seems like a really bad gun. Well, I know I can reforge it, I'm just saying, it's like, even at its best, this seems like it's probably not that good. My chlorophyte thing is doing way more damage. Certainly not as good as the blood knives. I mean, I don't think that's even up for debate, though. It's frustratingly dark in here. I can't see anything to shoot it. And by the time I try to shoot it, it's already dead anyway. Oh, I got that thing. Alright, well, I guess that's kind of the end of that. Well, one more gun for the pile. Switches between enemies as long as you hold it down. Alright, that's actually kind of one cool thing about it then. Oh, I get it. So it just kind of tries to clear out the whole room for you. Yeah, that's kind of nifty then. So many weapons now. I mean, I don't even know which ones to use. I have more than I need. Alright, so Crimson's done. Jungle's done. Still need Frozen, Corruption, and Hallowed. And that's a lot of work. What I'll probably do is I'll probably set up some traps near my house here and put blue candles and stuff. Just see if I can farm these suckers without even trying. Excuse me. But I think that'll be for another day, perhaps. So, hopefully you guys had a good time hanging out with me at the Rock Quarry here today. It's been a pretty wild stream in just that I'm not used to doing the same thing for that many hours in a stream, but I still think we hopefully kept each other occupied talking about a pretty big variety of topics, ranging from pies and cakes to YouTube questions. I think all the YouTube questions are kind of a foregone conclusion, but I enjoy talking about them anyway. Golden shower? Yes, indeed. I got a hallowed key mold before I got a megaphone for the Ankh shield. I've been getting so many of those megaphones. Wooden bridge, no! Only just got here. Well, sorry. There will be many, many videos from this going up on YouTube at some point. This is going to end up getting split into like 3 chunks, I guess. But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being here and for hanging out with me and for having this chat. It was a lot of fun. And if any of you would like, feel free to click the follow button on my Twitch page. You know, anybody that might be new. Because I will be streaming more often, and streams will be frequently similar to this. If only the Terraria streams, but then there will also be other things where I play strange indie games, and those will be more structured and such. And then, of course, the NLSS will be on again starting on Monday, so Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday I'm going to be on from 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then I'm probably going to be on Saturday nights for classic gaming, possibly Friday nights for BizSnap and Terraria, and then somewhere else in there I'm going to be streaming my own escapades in this server. So it's actually going to be a lot of streaming, and I would very much value you guys to come back again if you would like. And of course, if you're not familiar, I am also primarily a YouTuber. And my YouTube channel is youtube.com/RockLeeSmile. And all of my information is right below the video window if you want to click around. I've also got a Twitter page, which is @RockLeeSmile, if you want to follow me over there. I stream, again, pretty regularly now, or at least it's going to be more regular soon. And I'm probably going to have an official schedule coming up fairly soon. I mean, other than the NLSS, which is an official schedule. But in case that doesn't quite happen as quickly as I'd like, following me on Twitter is the one way to guarantee that you'll know when I'm going live, because I always tweet when I'm streaming, and then of course following you can get emails and such. Anyway, I'm going on a little bit long with this whole thing, but I just wanted to make sure you all knew all of the deal. See you guys at the NLSS indeed. Oh hey, you're still streaming. I am, but I'm wrapping up right now, Stuart, sorry. Good night, all these streams, so long as bedtime in Japan. It's bedtime everywhere for me. It's actually 9 o'clock in the morning now, so I'm gonna probably just roll over out of my chair and see if I can get some sleep. But also, in case you came in at a weird time, or if you want to see more, my YouTube channel will have the VODs from this, as well as the other VODs from the series, because this is actually coming out of my reasonably long-running Let's Play series. Now we're up to 60-something episodes in the actual proper series that are exclusively posted just on YouTube. So then there's been a few grinding sessions, and this will take us up to a total of, I think, 5 grinding episodes now, when I split these into 2-hour chunks. So if you want to see more, that's where you go. And I'm going to leave you with another block of ads. Feel free to stick around if you like. Oh, and I should see if anyone else is streaming that I can send you all over to. I'd like to pass on the love a little bit. Let's see, it might be a weird time. I kind of doubt anybody's live. Yeah, there's nobody live for my group, unfortunately. But if you guys know anybody, feel free to propose an idea. And I hope to see you all very soon. I am trying to perhaps organize another stream with BizSnap this weekend for our co-op Terraria thingy. So if that's the case, again, follow me on Twitter, and you will be appraised of that information as soon as I know it. No guarantees that it'll happen, because honestly, the weekend is not a long time already. It's already Saturday, and it's already 9 in the morning, but if it happens, it happens. So thank you again for being here, and I will catch you again real soon. Have a lovely night, guys.